Episode of the Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Neighborhood Domains. Every business needs a domain name, including yours. Visit neighborhooddomains.com and use offer code MARKETING to get 10% off hosting.
On this episode, we're talking about a new AR promo that 8 O'Clock Coffee is rolling out. National Geographic is on IGTV. YouTube has expanded creator services and a new Shopify messaging platform.
Creativity sells. Applying the right creative at the right time is the recipe for great marketing. The Marketing Podcast looks at marketing news and finds the secret ingredients that make great marketing.
Hi, welcome to the Marketing Podcast. I'm Brendan Quigley.
And I'm Heather Watson. How you doing, Brendan?
Very good. And yourself?
I'm great.
Is there any special reason?
Well, I just got back from vacation.
How to do it.
Yeah. And the magic of podcasting, our listeners didn't even know I was gone.
There you go. Yeah. I'm going on vacation soon, too.
Yeah. It's a different kind of vacation. It's like not really a vacation.
Expecting number 3.
A child.
Yeah.
A baby is on the way.
Maybe number 3's happened. We'll see.
Oh, goodness. So in the spirit of vacation, I wanted to talk about some of the trends that are going on in the hospitality industry. And I mean, don't stop listening right now, folks.
Like give me a free place to stay for blogging about your...
Right, because you're an influencer.
I am.
Yeah. No, no, not that. So this is really just kind of a roundup of some stuff. And if you're not in the hospitality industry, I was about to say, it's still worth a listen because you'll hear some really cool numbers and trends and things that are going on that when I was kind of putting this episode together, I thought it was kind of interesting stuff. And I'm not even in the hospitality industry other than a consumer of the hospitality industry. So here we go. I can't remember what was first.
Watch the newest ads on TV.
Oh, okay. So hotels.com. That's what this is about. So we have seen the hotels.com ads, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
Right? So every day, iSpot.tv provides data on ads that have just launched and what budgets are and that kind of stuff. So about, I don't know what this was off of Ad Age on June 26th. So a couple weeks ago, I was looking at these metrics back to a couple of weeks ago and came across this hotels.com ad. I don't know how we can patch it in. I should have probably let the engineers know that when we started recording the show. So I won't bother trying to play it, but we'll link to it in the show notes at themarketingpodcast.ca. But their ad for the last 30 days, so this was in June, which is a high time in travel advertising, right? They're trying to get everybody booked in. They ran a TV campaign with an estimated spend of $8,119,748. Just let that sink in, friends. That's their TV buy for the month. $8 million. Their impressions for that same period was 685,056,774. So, I'm going to say like $1.50 an impression. I don't know. It's pretty crazy numbers. So I'm mentioning this not because of hotels.com, although Captain Obvious is and it's a fun little ad, just an average 30-second spot. The attention index on this, which is a score that they use that says like how many people are actually watching when it comes up.
The attention index.
Yeah. Like they're measuring your attention. Yeah. Is 114, which is 14% fewer interruptions than average. So what that means is basically people are paying attention 86% more. Like there's 14% fewer interruptions while they're watching it. Like so their phones or their eyes are on it. 14% fewer interruptions.
Yeah.
It's backward. I hate double negatives. Yeah. It's like I feel like it should be like that many eyes, not how much
there's
attention.
There's the attention score of 93.62.
Yeah, 93.62 was the attention score on it. So I wanted to raise this just to have a conversation around, don't tell me television advertising is dead, right? Like this particular hotels.com ad premiered on the Goldbergs which is a quote unquote reality TV show that's pretty prime time. And it's run for a month since then. Obviously, they just didn't pay for one spot on the Goldbergs for $8 million.
It's funny, I recognize the second one, Nick and Knight.
Oh, see, I didn't recognize that.
He's
Nick
a
at
gamer.
Night.
He's a YouTube gamer, so he must have some television something or other.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So Nick at Night. I didn't realize what that was the other place where it premiered. So knowing your audience, investing in it, will get you the brand awareness for Hotels.com. It did anyways.
I don't watch TV, but I watch a lot of TV. So I would argue against this.
Yeah. I mean,
only because you're not going to reach me specifically. But apparently, what was it? 685 million people.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's another ad that's not related to travel, but like this is just part of the metrics for Groupon. As an example, so they spent an estimated $1.2 million. Pretty small change compared to what Hotels.com had, and got 204,477,000 impressions on that spend. So when you start doing the math, I mean it is about brand awareness more than it is conversions, right? But they are getting the ROI, and then the attention index actually ranked higher at 157, with 57% fewer interruptions.
You know what? I think where you're showing it, like we know Super Bowl ads work really well, and that's because everyone's watching for the ads in the Super Bowl. So that'd be my opinion on it, where it
Yeah, but you're going to spend $8 million for one 30-second spot.
This is it. Now I see another ad in the metrics here that, like FIFA, it premiered on the 2018 FIFA, and that would be another spot kind of like Super Bowl. You've got a yeah, I know, but you've got a captive audience there, right? And it did very well as well. It had, what is that, 57 fewer interruptions.
Yeah, 57%.
And I think that's because a lot of people sit down to like watch the FIFA.
game.
Yeah. So I
mean, but that's your scope of interest.
Oh yeah.
You sit down to watch World
Yeah.
Cup. Whereas some people sit down to watch the Goldbergs, sadly enough, or the Groupon one, The Real Housewives of Orange County.
But I feel like people are DVRing that and then fast forwarding. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're watching it live. But I know that's my experience with my family who has television.
Right.
You know, that's what they do. So I find these really interesting. I'd love to know more. Like it does say, I should probably follow up with this iSpot TV, because it says it does use smart TVs as well to calculate some of the data, which is like a whole new world, right? Like you can actually get data from it. Like were they watching it with a camera to see if your phone comes up?
Yeah.
I doubt they are in privacy, but I'd be super curious.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like the Captain Obvious ad. I like ads. Like, I don't skip through ads. Well, I do, but I really enjoy new ads and the creativity behind it, but that's me. And the Captain Obvious ones are working for them, and they're doubling down on that whole campaign. And they're just these, like, the Hotels.com ads are so in your face.
I
ridiculous.
bet you if you YouTube those ads, they've got millions of hits.
Yeah.
And that's the other benefit of the ad, right? Like you're creating the ad, which is the creative. Sure, you're showing it on TV, but it can go other places.
Yeah. Television is the medium.
Exactly.
And you can choose many, many mediums, right? You can even have it as a pop-up on your own website or whatever the case may be, just to reinforce that brand.
Definitely.
Okay, so the next one, experience-based travel. So I think this...
I'm confused.
Isn't travel an experience?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your thought and generation. For us, it was like the experience was, as long as the hotel had a pool, that was the travel, right? Or a cottage, and we just stay like there on the compound, if you will. So Strategy is reporting that there's now more of a trend, and Marriott and Airbnb are expanding their programs to capture travelers hungry for something more. So not only are you booking a place to stay, you are getting that experience, the recommendations of things to do while you're there or what have you.
Airbnb rolled this out a little while ago, and by a little while ago, I just don't know exactly when, but it was like you could book people to do things with, not to stay with them. So someone would take you biking, or someone would take you to a local place to get coffee and whatever, and it's exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah.
this experience. So I'm not surprised to see, the Marriott hotels, and Airbnb involved with this.
Right, and they're trying to develop loyalty around it, right?
Yeah.
So, so funny enough, I mean, I booked one of our places that we stayed at through Airbnb, and I really valued the touristy destination insight advice that I got from the homeowner,
Right.
like from the
Yep.
property
Yep.
owner. And it saved me a whole bunch of research. He sent me, and we stayed in a little cabin in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. And he's like, oh, and make sure you keep Sunday night free because there's a little parish down the road of 100 people. And every Sunday they have live music come in and it's
Interesting.
amazing.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And it's stuff that you would never see
Yeah.
on the things to see in the backwoods of, small town Prince Edward Island. Right. So that was valuable, but now they're trying to make it more systematized and just coming kind of from strategy. Marriott saying our goal is to become the favorite travel loyalty program. It's not necessarily to be the biggest, but in order for us to be the favorite, we need to extend our relationship with our members beyond the hotels, right? So they've created this Marriott Moments, which this came after Airbnb announced their experiences platform nationally in Canada and beyond. And they have, so it was in 2016, that experiences,
There we go. Yep.
with 500 experiences across 12 cities, but it now offers 10,000 in almost 180 cities. And by the end of the year, we'll have it added another 1,000 destinations to the program. So among the platform's many Canadian experience offerings, travelers can embark on a pastry crawl in Toronto, and hiking and photography tour in Vancouver, bike tour in Montreal, exactly what you were saying. And they've also added Airbnb these passion categories, including concerts and social dining experiences that bring travelers together from different countries and adventures, multi-day excursions, that kind of stuff.
See, I think I like this the most because we are seeing a trend towards like human customized interactions. If that's the most sterile way to say that possible. But basically we want to have
We
interaction.
crave people.
Yeah. And so Airbnb, you would think the big tech company doesn't have that, but that's what they found. That's what they were founded on, and that's what they started with. And so I really like this because, people often talk about the upset that happens when Airbnb, it's upsetting the hotel industry, but there's no reason the hotels can't do it themselves.
Either. Yeah, exactly.
And there's no
And
reason.
I mean, I think the Marriott or any other hotel would have like your concierge service.
Exactly.
But not really. Like you'd be able to go and say, hey, what can I do? And they're like, oh, well, I can hook you up with some tickets. I can hook you with that.
Yeah.
But not like the quaint, real experiences, right?
So hopefully they pull that out though. Like hopefully that's the goal here.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, interestingly, just a crazy stat, experience bookings grew 2,500%. I don't even, that's like that can't even be a percentage during 2017, or 25 times faster than home bookings did in the first year. And around 90% of customers' reviews gave their experiences 5 stars.
So even hearing that number, the other thing I think about is how this is just benefiting local businesses. Like if you're one of those pastry places, if you're one of those bike
Partner
rental
with
places.
an Airbnb provider, like from a marketing perspective, go to Airbnb, find the Airbnb
You can search them in your area.
And reach out to them and say, hey, can we create some sort of experience together?
Exactly.
And drive some people your way, because I think
if you have a Marriott, apparently.
Yeah.
You can call them too.
Yeah. Because people are looking for those, I hate to use the word quaint, but kind of off the beaten path.
Less touristy tourism.
Yeah.
Can I trademark that? Less touristy tourism. I
think that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. So speaking of touristy tourism, Marketing Week was reporting on an interview with Thomas Cook Travel. So Thomas Cook Travel, of course, is a travel agency. And this was in relation to GDPR. So this was early June when everybody's inboxes were filling up with all those horrible emails. But I thought it was still pretty interesting. Thomas Cook has gone on the record to say, quote, I'd be surprised if people really knew what we were doing with their data. Right? And this is like, if you...
It's true.
It's so true. So simple data from, quote, travel intenders, so people who are planning a vacation, powers significant volumes of partnerships for the 3,000 hotels and tourist boards Thomas Cook works with to help them get more bookings. So they go into detail of limited information from an email address. They can grab home address information about families. They have 20 million people, or they work with 20 million people. They send 20 million customers away on holiday every year. But there's roughly 175 million people that use Thomas Cook as a benchmark for cost each year. So when people are trying to shop around and price their vacations, so that 175 million group, they're not necessarily leaving their name or email address, but they're giving trivial or what seems to be trivial information about where they want to go to and from and for how long, right? Powers significant volumes of partnerships for the hotels, because then they start knowing that people are searching in February, people are searching 10-day vacations in June, for example.
Yeah.
And where those destinations are. And
then make a 10-day trip in June to that destination.
Right.
And you'll probably get people.
Yeah.
It's like your own market research tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we use data for our own site and more widely across the web through programmatic, but also for powering in-store, in-flight, in-resort campaigns that might deliver more bookings for a hotel or change perceptions of the destination or make you more likely to buy a headphones brand because you're thinking about buying those before going on holiday. Wow.
Genius.
Right?
Like anyone who's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're doing this, is like, yes, they are, because they can, because they have been, because
the data's there. It's nothing personal, right?
Yeah.
And the final quote that I love out of this, and this is just about openness and transparency. We don't have anything to hide, but I don't necessarily think very much of why they're seeing, I don't necessarily think they think very much why they're seeing that ad for a Cuban hotel or Turkish tourist board or Bose headphones. It's like they're not hiding the fact that they're just using this information that we're feeding them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
The other thing this makes me think of is they talk about, depending on the country that you hit the websites on, sometimes the prices can change for the big airlines. And again, it's just data. It's just more data that they can take.
Yeah. So Thomas Cook already has partnerships with 3,000 other providers, including Bose headphones by the sounds of things. Yeah. And they're feeding that data to Bose so that Bose knows exactly when to market, right? Oh goodness, I'm going on a long flight. I need noise canceling earphones, right? Is really what it comes down to, I suspect. So,
I mean, this isn't impossible for a small business. Like, these tools exist, and in some ways it's free. Like, if you're just doing the Google Analytics side of things, you can have this on your website or in your app or on your marketing campaigns via email, and you can be tracking the same thing. You know, you can record searches that are made on your website and be doing the same thing. And again, we're not attaching this data to a name or an email. This is, like you said, seemingly trivial data, but when you get, 100, 200, 300 searches, you start to learn what your customers are looking for. It's not that hard to do, is basically my message here. You could do it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just not at that scale, right?
Yeah.
But when you see these scale examples, it gives you food for thought on how to roll it out within your own scope. Okay, I have one final one, and you're going to like this the next time you go away, although with 3 little ones, that may be never, ever again.
No, there's a plan.
Okay, so Amazon Alexa. So Amazon put out a release, this came off of Business Wire, that they are helping hotels offer new engaging guest experiences with Alexa for hospitality. So Marriott, coincidentally, we already spoke about, is one of the partners. Amazon has launched a program that lets hotels, vacation rentals, or other hospitality locations integrate special audio functions into their services through Echo smart speakers.
This is just a natural progression.
Guests can ask Alexa to perform tasks like setting alarms, adjusting lights, ordering room service, playing music, or calling the front desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So they've, of course, gone with some of the bigger hoteliers by invitation only, including Marriott, Westin Hotels, St. Regis Hotels and Resorts, Aloft, and Autograph Collection Hotels. But they're going to be working with property managers for ticketing, guest management, streamlining administrative duties, like responding to guest inquiries and what have you.
My prediction is that wait for the Airbnb partnership. Oh yeah. Where you can set an Alexa up in your Airbnb and you can pre-program a bunch of FAQs and like an emergency call to you and that kind of stuff to serve your Airbnb customers. Yeah.
Legitimately.
Because Amazon's so big, like they're rolling it out on with the big guys because That's easy.
It's volume.
Yeah, it's easy, but then they'll just make it publicly available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a cool thing.
That's awesome.
And that's it. That's all we have for a show. Is that it?
Yeah, this makes me think of I found that Domino's Pizza has an IFT recipe.
Oh, yeah?
So you can just like have a order ready to go. So you could
hit your if button
every time
in your phone.
every time you tweet, it orders a pizza. Every time you hit the button, it orders a pizza. Every time you isn't that dangerous?
That is dangerous.
But good job for them. That's
Yeah.
what that one makes me think of.
There you go. So thanks for listening. We have a listener survey up. We'd love to hear your feedback. acorn30.com/podcast. Please tell us your thoughts. We're in the process of kind of rejigging what the podcast is going to be looking like. And we appreciate your listenership, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on what we should be doing better in the future. And I know last episode it was Team Heather versus Team Brendan, but I don't think there's actually that question in there directly.
I might have to add it.
Yeah. So be sure to connect with us. Visit us on the marketingpodcast.ca. And I guess that's it. We're done for the Marketing Podcast. I'm Heather Watson.
And I'm Brendan Quigley.
Thanks for listening.